What's going on YouTube? It's your man Bishop, King Bishop that is, checking in live from Richmond, Virginia at work inside my truck. I wanted to make a video talking about the differences between local work and OTR work and why I feel it's important to spend some time OTR before you go local. And first of all, the difference is, if you don't know, but OTR work is any combination of work where you're going to be out multiple days at a time. If you're going anywhere further away from home that you can get in a day or two, then I would technically consider that OTR. Local work is anywhere where you can get home in a day, or you travel mostly within, I want to say, 200 miles of home or where your home terminal is. I have done both. I was OTR with two companies and local now, and I believe it's important to get the OTR experience for a couple of reasons. First, it teaches you how to run. In this industry, if you can't run and you're getting paid by the mile, you're not going to make much money. And how to run is more than just driving. How to run is more than dealing with customers or things like that. How to run is knowing how to navigate when you're somewhere you've never been before, going to places you've never heard of, you've never seen. So you're in a strange place, going to a strange place, coming from a strange place. I always tell people the biggest thing I learned from being OTR was learning how to get unlost. I mean, it sounds crazy, but when you're going somewhere that you've never been before, even if the GPS is 100% correct and you looked it up on an atlas and you got everything situated, you Google mapped it, essentially you're still lost, because if you make a wrong turn, you're not going to know which way to go until one of your tools tells you which way to go. So I consider that the biggest thing that I learned is how to get unlost, because you go to a lot of strange places you've never been before. The second thing I learned that was very important to me, OTR, was learning how to manage time. Because locally, if you're seeking to get home, time is everything. You're going to work longer days usually working local than you are over the road. So if you go somewhere where you're stretching out your time, for instance, if you're going 250 miles away from home, that's 500 miles round trip. So clock management is going to be important, because if you're going 250 miles away, you're either going to deliver a load or pick up a load, which means you have to have time to deal with the shipper. If they're going to live load you, have to be live loaded. You may get lucky and drop and hook, which won't take you long. But if you get live unloaded, you have to account for time for that. So clock management is really important, because if you mismanage your time, you'll be stuck in a day cab on the side of the road trying to get home because you didn't manage your time right. Local work is a lot about getting to work. At least the local work I do now is about getting to work, getting rolling, and don't play with your time on the front end. And what I mean with that is, if you get paid by the hour, then of course we all have the natural instinct to want to, get as many hours as we can. So you may not feel like a run is going to take you that long, but what you can't account for is traffic. You can't account for how long it's going to take you to get loaded or unloaded at the shipper. You can't account for the time if you have a backhaul that you need to bring back to, your home terminal once you get unloaded. So you don't really want to play with your time on the front end. If you're going to do any of your plan, do it on the back end when you're on your way home, so that okay, well, I can make it home based on the amount of time I have, and if traffic happens, I still have enough time. Another thing I learned from OTR work was how to be away from home. And for some people, OTR kills relationships. I've been blessed to say that even while I was OTR, it was very tough, but I was able to maintain my marriage. Um, so you have to be a little bit more cautious in regulating your relationships with your friends and family, because all you have is talking. You can't see. There's no dropping bys, no hugs. You kind of got to make the most of the time you have, and making sure you're staying involved in the lives of the people who matter to you, even while you're away, such as your children. Talking to your children, asking them, hey, how was your day? What'd you learn today in school? What'd you eat for dinner? Anything that sparks conversation so that you maintain that healthy relationship with your family. On the other side, there are some struggles with local work. Everybody wants to go local. I want to be home every day. I want to be home every day. I can't take it. I want to be home every day. I can't take the truck. I'm tired of sleeping in it. But are you really ready for local work? Well, what do you mean by I'm ready for local work? Of course, I want to be home every day. Well, I'm going to tell you this. It's from someone that has had the experience. The backing in local work, it is tremendously harder than the backing on OTR work. In my instance. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times when you're going places with receivers that get long hauls and they get in a lot of sleeper trucks, there's usually space for those trucks to maneuver. It may be tight for you to back it in, but you can fit. A lot of times with these day cab operations, they send you places that they know a sleeper can't fit. So you're going there because if not for a day cab truck, it won't fit. They can't get in there. I go to places all the time that if my dispatcher were to send a sleeper truck, they would never fit. It would never work. So, your backing has to be, you have to be very confident and cool in your backing, because I go into some places now that you just look at it and say, who thought this was a good idea? Who thought that putting this building in this place with this amount of space for a tractor trailer to maneuver was a good idea? It's crazy some of the places that, I go to. So, like I said, you have to really be confident in your backing, because you're going to do a lot of it. And also, sometimes, most times, you're going to work harder local than you are OTR. And what I mean by that is because, like I told you, your days are going to be longer. If you want to make it home, you're going to be required to do more driving, because at the end of the day, the company, if you work local, they'll tell you, I'll pay for a hotel room. It doesn't matter to me if you get home or not. The struggle to get home is all on you. You're the one that wants to get home. So you're going to have to be able to work through fatigue, to make sure you do get home. So you have to be prepared to do driving. And a lot of local work, I would say, 7 or 8 times out of 10 in local work, you're going to touch freight. And that's another thing you have to be ready for. Do you really want to touch freight? Do you want to be the lumper? If you've ever been OTR before, you call the company, you get a comm data check, or what it used to be or EFS check, what it used to be, or whatever, and you get the check, you get the authorization number, boom, they're on your truck like a bunch of minions, just getting you in and out, because they want that dock space, and they want to get you in and out because they got their money. Show the receipt, the shipper or the consignee will sign your bills, pew, you're on your way. Nah. And a lot of this local work, you just became the lumper. You became the lumper. And a lot of times with some of these companies, they already tell you, we pay you to lump freight. Even if you may not see it or think it's fair, we pay you to lump freight. So, do you really want to deal with that? Do you really want to touch a freight? You want to get on the back of a 53-foot trailer and have to touch pallets, cases, and pieces? That's another thing. And also with local work, a lot of it is paid hourly. And hourly sounds great when you talk about working 50, 55 hours a week. Right now at my job, I normally try to get around 60 hours a week. But we don't get paid overtime. So, Are you really ready to work 60 hours a week just to bring home straight pay, where the average person has made 20 hours overtime? You're making some sacrifices coming off the road. You're making some sacrifices. And, if you find a good local company, and what I mean by a good company is the nonsense does not outweigh the good, because every company, over the road, local, has their nonsense. They have their drama. Don't be confused. Don't be disturbed because you're having issues or you don't like this about a local or OTR company. They all have their faults. There's no such thing as a perfect company. If you go and start a trucking company and it's you and one of your friends, and that one friend you have is going to complain about something, it's never perfect. It's impossible to be perfect. But you kind of have to outweigh, you kind of have to weigh out the benefits of the company to the pros and the cons, basically, So what I say is, if you're looking to come off the road, I think you should just make an informed decision on what company you go with, and make sure, from what you can figure out before you start the company, make sure those are things you're willing to deal with. Talk to some of the drivers, and do things like that. Try to be proactive. Like I said, some things you're not going to figure out until after you join the company. But if you can avoid some of the big hurdles, like for instance with local work, if you're getting paid hourly, you need to make sure they got the work, because you don't want to be sitting at home. And that's the biggest thing. You want to make sure that if a truck goes down, you have another truck to give you, because trucks break. Just like OTR work, a truck is going to go down. It's going to need PM. All those things that happen that are routine, you don't want those things affecting the fact of whether or not you can make a check. So those are good things to figure out before you decide just to hop on a local company, because it'll get you off the road. And like I said, personally, my opinion is the road has very, very valuable lessons. It also teaches you money management, how to be wise about managing money, because most people just starting out OTR won't be making that much money. And it teaches you how to budget your money so that you're not spending all of your paycheck inside the TA or the pallet or the petrol, the Flying J, or the mom and pop this and that store. You kind of learn to live and make it off the basics, which is a valuable lesson, because when you come off the road, that same money management tools will make sure you can be successful while you're off the road, in case things do slow down. And they all slow down. Okay, what company you work for, what kind of freight they pull. If you're working at a local company, OTR company, every company slows down at one period or another time for whatever reason. Freight just works that way. So that's just my 2 cents about it. Doesn't make me right, doesn't make you wrong. Just giving my opinion. Do me a favor, please. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, give me the motivation to keep doing it. I took almost a year off because, I was just being lazy, honestly. So now we're back at it. I got some exciting things coming up, and I want to share it with y'all. So y'all hit the like button, man. Comment, tell me what you think. If you got a specific video or a specific instance you want to know about, hit me up, and I'll get to it. I promise you, I'll get to it. Until then, it's your man, King Bishop. Peace.